back.
Let's all play What's My Line? And now let's meet this week's What's My Line panel. First, he lives to laugh and laughs to live. TV comedian Soupy Sales.
Thank you, Johnny Olson. Right now, here's a pleasure to present for the 5th time this week a young lady who you see on TV all the time and at sundry places around New York, Phyllis Newman.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce a publisher, a gentleman, and best of all, my friend, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
Here's a lady who is officially Mrs. Martin Gable, but to her adoring fans all over the country, she is Arlene Francis.
Thank you, dear Bennett. And now, from news commentator to our moderator, Wally Bruner.
Thank you, Arlene, and welcome everyone to What's My Line. I think the next 30 minutes are going to be interesting, educational, as well as being a lot of fun. Don't let me scare you away with the educational part, but, we're going to try to teach you a little something. If not you, I'm sure we can teach the panel something, right?
I'm sure you can.
All right, let's find out. Meet our first challenger. Will you enter and sign in, please? Sister Mary. And I'm going to mispronounce it, I'm sure, but it's Caritas, I believe. Right, so it is Sister Mary Caritas.
Caritas.
It's very difficult. I want to give it a Spanish pronunciation.
But don't.
But
It's
don't.
Latin.
It is Latin.
Caritas.
All right, thank you so much. And Sister, where are you from?
From Grand Rapids, Michigan.
All right.
West Catholic High School.
West Catholic High School. You wouldn't teach there by any chance?
I do.
You
by
do?
great privilege.
Okay. Well, panel, Sister Mary Caritas is a Roman Catholic nun and a school sister of Notre Dame, a teacher. Now, over the years, however, she has become expert in yet another field. But now let's show the audience just what that field is. So you must find out what field her expertise is in, and we'll begin with Phyllis.
Thank you. Sister Mary, since your main avocation is teaching and something of the mind, can I assume that what your other thing is physical?
I think not.
I think whereas there has to be something physical involved with this particular thing, that it is not really what you would call physical. So I'm going to have to make it no and one down, Bennett.
Sister Mary, is what you do connected in any way with the arts?
No.
2 down, Arlene.
Is it something other than anything to do with religion? Other than religion, what you do?
Well, I would say
Now,
that
is
as a
it-
layman, I would not associate it with a religion, but I'm sure the sister might well see a similarity between the two. However, I don't think either of us would.
Whatever you do you do it in something other than the habit that you always wear?
Oh, no, indeed not.
No.
3 down, Soupy.
Can we rule out that you're in the road company of Sound of Music? Sister Mary.
Unfortunately, you have to rule that out.
Sister Mary, you say there's nothing physical about this at all.
Not about what she does. There is something.
Do you do any writing of any kind?
You mean in connection with what I do?
Well, I don't know if it's...
What do you have in mind?
Well, I would think either she's a novelist or a songwriter.
Oh, in that line.
Oh,
I would say no.
No.
That's 4 down, Phyllis.
But I'm confused. When he said writing, you perked up. So may I assume that there is some writing connected with what you do?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Now, is it any kind of? You said that the sister was an expert
in a field.
Now, is the field have anything to do with historical things, which might include stamps, coins, anything of historical nature?
No, no.
Nothing that you mentioned. 5 down, Bennett.
Sister Mary, I have a feeling that you, in some way or other, you're particularly interested in athletics.
I am.
Does your work involve sports in any way, shape, or manner?
No. Not this thing.
6 down, Arlene.
Is there anything electronic connected with what you do?
No.
Afraid not. 7 down, Soupy.
but something you said, Sister Mary, that it is something to do with, is your writing has something to do with it?
Yes, it does.
Is it something that you write like for the paper? Do you do something for a newspaper or a magazine?
Not in this thing.
No, that's 8 down. Does anyone have a guess?
Any kind of an analyzing handwriting?
That's right!
What? That's an analyzing handwriting.
But handwriting analysis is the sister's expertise. But Sister Caritas is a school sister of Notre Dame, and in addition, as I said, she specializes in handwriting analysis. And how did you learn to do this?
Well, I think I have a remarkable memory, and I pray a lot.
And all of that helped.
Oh, it sure does.
Well, now, what can you tell from a person's handwriting?
I think I can. I have been successful in telling something about, whether they have a sense of humor, whether they have a quick temper or no temper at all, whether they're very determined, whether they're easygoing,
Really
whether they're
quite a
quick
bit.
to see good in other people.
All of that?
Whether they're artistic. Yes, I don't make too many mistakes.
Well, can you do it the other way around? I mean, you know, can you tell what kind of a handwriting a person has by knowing his personality?
No, I don't see any point in that. I've never tried it. Perhaps some people can.
Would you mind if we tried an experiment with that? Just for the fun of it?
Okay, it would have to be for the fun of it.
All right. Well, let's make a game out of it and let the panel try. Johnny Olson, and would you join me center stage, sister? Thank you, John. You're welcome. Very much. All right. Now, sister, I think we have a pointer here for you that you're going to use just a little bit later on. Let's begin this thing with Soupy Sales. Now, Soupy, here you see the handwriting of 3 presidents of the United States. Each one, 3 different presidents. Now, since we know that you have become quite an expert on Abraham Lincoln, we want you to tell us which sample of handwriting did Abraham Lincoln write? Number 1, number 2, or number 3?
Well, I tell you, from him building bridges and tunnels and highways, he had time to write. I think it's marvelous. I think number 3.
You picked number 3. All right, let's take a look. I'm afraid you're wrong. Number 1 is Abraham Lincoln.
See there?
And as you can see, let's see. Number 2 is George Washington, and number 3 is President Grant. Now, Abraham Lincoln was number 1, so Soupy made a mistake. Sister, can you tell us by just looking at Mr. Lincoln's
I think
handwriting?
the great carefulness with which it's written, I think, and then the conservativeness of it, and the thrift of him, that the letters are pinched together, you know, sort of.
And some of them are kind of disconnected, too. Does that mean something?
Yes. Well, that means that he was a favorite of some kind, and he was of his mother.
Very good. All right, now let's try the next one. Phyllis Newman?
Yes.
Here's your big opportunity. Here you see 3 famous French citizens. And we want you to pick out the handwriting of Napoleon Bonaparte. Number 1, number 2, or number 3?
Napoleon Bonaparte. Well, it's a choice between 1 and 2. And I would say 2.
Number 2. And let's see. Afraid you're wrong. Number 1 was Napoleon. Number 2 is Sarah Bernhardt, and number 3 is Marie Antoinette. But sister, can you tell us something about Napoleon's hand?
I think the very interesting thing about Napoleon's is this crossing of a T in this way and swinging it up that way. That indicates a very definite lack of confidence in himself. And you can imagine that in Napoleon. But he did mind very much that he was so short. See, he wasn't quite 5 feet tall. From the feet up, from the ears up, he was plenty tall.
Okay, sister, thank you. All right, Bennett, Cerf, guess what we have for you? What else but 3 famous men of letters? Now, we would like you to pick out the handwriting, please, of Mark Twain. Number 1, number 2, or number 3?
First of all, I'd like to say that Sister Mary reminds me of Carol Channing when she talks. Very much. But that has nothing to do with this. I would think that Mark Twain would be number 2.
Number 2? Let's take a look. You're absolutely correct. It was number 2. And as you can see, Bennett, number 1 was Walt Whitman, number 3 was Edgar Allan Poe. Sister, can you tell us something
And I
about Mark
suppose
Twain?
this proves the fact that it takes one genius to recognize
Oh,
another.
Sister Mary,
Do you teach public relations?
No, but I try to live it.
You try to live it. All right, let's take a look at the last one. And Arlene, for you, we have 3 rulers of England. And we'd like you to pick out the handwriting of Henry VIII. Number 1, number 2, or number
Boy,
3.
I'm delighted he did something besides eat. I would guess number 1 was Henry VIII.
Number 1, let's take a look.
No, was the second one.
Number 1 was Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Henry VIII. And number 3 is Queen Victoria. Sister, can you tell us something
Well,
about
I
that?
think the one thing that shows up in there is his great determination. Notice every downstroke is shaded heavily. And he did. He wanted what he wanted when he wanted it, and he got it pretty much.
Sister?
Didn't he? 6 wives.
One of the what kind of grade would you have given these famous people on penmanship?
Oh dear, I'm glad I didn't have to give them any.
Thank you so much, sister. We enjoyed having you on What's My Line. Thank you. Thank you. Would you say goodbye to your family? What's My Line will continue right after this word. Well, panel, you were very, very bright. Bennett?
He was the bright one.
He was the bright one.
I like Sister Mary.
Did you really recognize Mark Twain's handwriting?
I guessed it.
They
Did you
wrote
guess
to
it?
each other all the time.
Oh, on that note, let's meet our next challenger. Will you enter and sign in, please? Bonnie Wall. And Bonnie Wall, where are you from?
Findlay, Ohio.
All right, welcome to What's My Line. Panel, may I tell you that Bonnie Wall is a sophomore in high school. Now, she works weekends collecting something. As a matter of fact, she collects about 12,000 of them a day. And now let's show the audience just what it is she collects. Mr. Cerf, you have the honor.
I want to say before anything else that Findlay, Ohio is where Russell Crouse came from, one of the nicest men that ever was in show business. And I hope you're as nice as he was, Bonnie. There's this thing that you collect. Has it ever been alive?
No.
No?
One down. Arlene.
Is it, after you collect it, is it put to some use?
May I say in clarification of that last one, it bothers me just a little bit. And I don't want to mislead anyone or anything else, but it is, again, one of those debatable things that we could get into about it, whether or not it's ever been alive. And I would prefer not to get into it and try to determine that here and now. So now we may continue.
Is there anything at all? Oh, now that you've said that, I'm wondering, could you collect something that most people in their homes throw out?
No.
No, two down, Soupy.
But at one time, this thing...
I said let's not get into that.
Okay. Can you hold this thing in your hand,
Yes.
Bonnie? Does it ever cover anything?
No.
Is it ever used to cover anything?
No.
No. 3 down, Phyllis.
Do you work, when you collect this thing, is it part of a job that you have in like a shop or someplace?
A shop or
Well, I
someplace?
mean, an enclosure, a store, I mean, for want of a
Building,
better
store,
word.
you mean, or shop
You're
or
just
store?
going to say no. I know what you're going to do. I thought maybe she collected hair in a beauty parlor.
That's a very good
After
guess.
it had been cut off.
4 down,
Just
Bennett.
keep talking.
Bonnie, do you collect what you collect outdoors?
No.
5 down, Arlene.
You mean you collect 12,000 of something that's indoors?
Yes.
Must be an awfully crowded
15
place.
seconds. Do you have a guess? Arlene?
Is it very small, what you collect?
Yes.
And
What is very small?
all right, a pinhead.
Then you got to know. 6
Okay.
down. Anyone have a guess?
Money? Did
Eggs.
she collect
That's
money?
right. Eggs. Bonnie gathers eggs for, is it Weeb's?
Webs.
Webb's Egg Factory in Findlay, Ohio on weekends. Bennett, are you protesting?
12,000 eggs a day?
Yes.
That's a tired chicken you got with you.
I must say that when I asked you if it was something that most housewives threw out, I thought maybe you collected egg shells.
But now you collect these by hand, don't you, Bonnie?
Yes. There are 3 girls, and we gather these eggs every weekend. But there's one house that is automatic, but we haven't collected in there yet.
All right, I want to ask our 2 ladies a question, just for the fun of it, okay? Phyllis and Arlene, would you both guess how many eggs does a chicken lay a day? Do you know, Phyllis?
How many eggs a day?
Per chicken.
4.
Arlene?
I don't know, I had some chickens once, and it cost about $1,000 to get 1 egg from these chickens.
How many do you think?
I would guess no more than 3.
Bonnie?
1.
1 a day per chicken. How about that? I didn't ask the fellows because I knew that they knew that. Of course they did. But Bonnie, you didn't stump the panel to win the game, but we're delighted to have you on What's My Line. Thank you very much. Would you say goodbye to the panel? What's My Line will continue right after this word. And now it's mystery guest time on What's My Line. Panel, are the blindfolds securely in place?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, mystery challenger, will you enter and sign in, please? All right, panel, may I remind you, please, it's 1 question at a time. I'll give you a couple of minutes to try and establish the identity of our mystery guest, and let's begin with Soupy Sales.
Thank you, Wally. What was funny about that? Mr. Guest, are you a lady?
Actually,
Phyllis.
Are you an entertainer?
well, there's some dispute about it, but woof.
Bennett.
I didn't quite get that answer. Was that yes?
Well, may we say
Yes,
he's
yes,
in the business?
yes.
In the business.
In the business.
Oh, yes.
Are you most famous for making people laugh?
Well, I don't know. Some people think I'm terrific, and other people say no good.
Arlene.
Oh, I bet I... have you written motion pictures?
I don't think that's any of your business, man. Prying again, aren't you?
Soupy.
It can't be anybody but Mel Brooks.
It is.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, either do it or don't. I mean, Phyllis, I just saw your husband at 21.
My husband?
Yes, Adolph was sitting with a strange lady.
Good.
I mean a weird lady. You know? No, he was with Betty.
How is he?
He's fine. He's getting shorter. I don't know what happened.
So are you.
Yeah, bless your face.
And of course,
Talk, dope.
I'm talking. Blah. What about the 12 chairs?
The 12 Chairs is a new motion picture that I filmed in Yugoslavia. It cost $1.28. And some of the critics have hailed it as being almost good. And it's funny and it's terrific. I wrote it, I directed it.
You're modest.
I am.
Yes. I understand you're also starring in it.
Yes, I appear in the film. I play
How did you persuade the director and writers to put you in?
Well, since I was the director, I had an in. So I took myself out for a drink. And I got myself pretty high.
You've got great reviews, but your other picture, The Producers, was a masterpiece. I want you to know.
Thank you, Soupy. That's very kind of you, but
you know what?
I don't want to be, seriously, I don't want to be boxed into being just the Meshuggah, clown.
Well, we're both boxed in. We're out of time, Mel.
The 12 Chairs is really a greater film. I mean, really. Funnier and bigger. I've dropped my sketch pad and I'm doing an oil painting.
Get out of here. Time's up. What are you doing?
Wonderful working with you, folks. I'll see you all in the back of the car later.
Right. Mel, thank you very much. Great to see you.
What's My Line? We'll continue right after this word.
Now, panel, it's time for honest answers to questions from the studio audience. From James Odell of Greenwich, Connecticut to Phyllis Newman. Which is the harder audience to appear before, Broadway or TV?
Oh, I think that both audiences are equally marvelous. I don't find it hard. I enjoy it.
No stage fright or jitters?
Well, I have jitters all the time, but it doesn't matter what I'm doing.
Very good. And from Sharon Chenekek of Harvey, Illinois to Arlene. How many diamonds are in the heart pendant, and does each diamond represent something or someone?
I don't honestly know because I'm not allowed to count, but I would guess that there are about 18 on both sides, and what they mean is a long and happy married life.
And Phyllis, where did you get your hair cut?
Me? Mary Farr at Kenneth Beauty Salon.
Thank you for your honest answers. That sort of brings another week to a halt. We're very glad you could be with us, panel. I think you were extremely good. Join us next week, please, for What's My Line?
You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.